Are you sitting around the house bored? Do you wish you had a pet? Or do you wish your pet had a friend? Hi friends, Coach Alyssa here, and today we are going to be making our very own puppy puppet. Isn't she cute? She's also very simple to make. You will only need just a few items that I'm sure you have lying around the house. Let's get started. First, you will need 2 toilet paper rolls, 1 pair of scissors, some white school glue, some string that you have lying around, any type will work, and some markers or paint. In the video, you'll see that I'll be using paint, but markers work just as well. And today I'll be using pipe cleaners, although the original model uses bendy straws. I will talk about that more later. And lastly, you'll need a ballpoint pen. First, we're going to take one of our toilet paper rolls and we will be cutting that in half. We'll be using these 2 pieces for our head and for our ears. Set those aside and prep your paint on a plate. It only takes a little bit. Then go ahead and take the piece that you want to be your head and just gently roll it into the paint in order to evenly distribute the color. This will help it dry faster. Be careful, it will get a little messy, so make sure you have some napkins on hand to wipe your hands in between rolls. Once you finish that, go ahead and set it on a napkin to dry. Next, you're going to take your full toilet paper roll, which will serve as the body, and adding a little more paint to the plate, you're going to do the same process of rolling it into your paint to provide nice, even coloring to the whole body. Set that aside and let it dry. Next, you'll want to pick a different color for the ears so they stand out a little more. I'm going with green. Once again, roll it gently in the paint in order to evenly distribute the color, and then set it aside to dry. It should take about 15 to 20 minutes to dry completely. In the meantime, I'm going to wash my hands. Now that we're back, we're going to take our body and our ballpoint pen and make 4 holes on the bottom for the legs. Now carefully use the ballpoint pen to poke holes into the bottom. Make sure not to catch your finger. Once you have 1 hole, you're going to make a second hole, not too close yet not too far from it. Once you are happy with that spacing, you'll do the same thing directly across from it on the other side of the toilet paper roll to make the other 2 legs. You should have something that looks like this. And now, on the other side of our toilet paper roll, we're going to make 2 holes to put our string through. Which should look something like this. 1 hole on each side. Next, I'm going to add some details to the body using a Q-tip and some green paint. I'm going to give my dog some spots. You're free to do whatever you'd like. You can do patches, stripes, it's all up to your imagination. Once you've finished that, go ahead and set it aside. Next, we're going to work on the head. We need to go ahead and put 2 holes, one on the top of the head and one on the bottom of the head, towards the area where your ears will be. Once you've established where that's going to be, go ahead and start poking the holes. Once you have both holes on your head, you are going to determine which side is going to be the top of the head. And once you do, you're going to need to fold the area where the hole is to almost make a heart shape, but only where the top hole is and without closing the hole completely. Once you've done that, it should look something like this. Again, make sure that top hole is not closed completely, as we will need to put our string through it. Next, we will be working with our string and making sure that we are cutting 2 6-inch pieces first. 6 inches, by the way, is about the size of a dollar bill. If you have a dollar bill lying around, you could use it as reference, like this. And make sure that you cut just a little bit past that 6-inch mark to really make sure you leave yourself some room for error, like so. Once you've done that, you're going to cut a piece of string the exact same size. So use that first piece of string as reference to decide how long your second piece should be. And our final piece of string is 24 inches or 2 feet. So think $5 foot long. Once you have one $5 foot long length of string, go ahead and move your hands to make that second $5 foot long piece of string. And once again, cutting just a little bit past that point to leave room for error, we have our last piece of string. We are going to put that 24-inch piece of string through the top 2 holes of our body. And it should look something like this. Next, we're going to put our head on whichever side of the body we would like our head to be. Which should look something like this. Now that you've done that, you're going to set it aside, and next we're going to work on constructing our ears with our last half tube. We are going to cut right through that half tube first, so that we have something that looks like this. Once you have cut through the tube, we are going to find the middle of that piece, and we're going to cut just 2 little lines that don't completely cut through, so it looks like this. Next, we're going to turn those lines into 2 triangles that kind of resemble arrows that are pointing right at each other, which should look something like this. Once you've done that, we are going to curve out our ear and make it look more dog ear-like rather than square. And it should look something like that. Once you've done that, you do that to the other side. And then you fold right in the middle so that it kind of looks like a bird. Next, we're going to apply some school glue right at the top of our head where we folded it in. The reason we folded that in and why we folded our ears is so that the ears pop out and away from the body so that they can be seen a little easier. Once you've done that, it's time to once again focus on the body. We're going to Now put our 2 pieces of 6-inch string through our leg holes. Starting with the first one, and the second, and it'll look like that once you are done. Now, I didn't have bendy straws as I mentioned earlier. That would have been easier to use, but I thought, let's use some pipe cleaners instead. These are going to be our puppy's feet. We're going to cut tiny little pieces like this, and we're going to intertwine them onto our string. Now again, if you happen to have bendy straws, you're just going to cut at the bend and tie knots. You're going to have it a lot easier than me. But if you use pipe cleaners, it'll look something like this. Make sure we get all 4 feet. And finally, your puppy will have 4 little paws. The cutest to walk and run with. Now, we're going to work towards attaching the head to the body with our 24-inch string. We're going to want to make sure that ultimately we have the string even on both sides. Once we've done that, it will look something like this. Now our puppy is almost ready to start walking around, but there are a couple more details to add, like a tail. You can cut your straw or pipe cleaner as long or as short as you'd like the tail. Once you figure that out, you're going to put it through the last hole at the back and it'll look like that. Next, I'm going to take a thin black marker and draw on a little face onto my puppy. And lastly, I have a pencil lying around. I'm going to go ahead and tie my string to this pencil, which will act like my puppet stick. Now that we've done that, our puppy is ready to walk around. My puppy's name is Lemon Drop. I can't wait to see what you guys all do. And she's very excited to be around, but make sure you clean up your station before you really get to playing. There we go, that's better. Lemon Drop has a lot more room to play now. Well, till next time, bye!